Case studies are helpful to use and reference in longer mark questions as they can help to get the higher AO1 marks for your knowledge on a topic. With any case study, you need to make sure you know why it is significant so that you can more easily apply it to the question. So for example, the 1995 Montserrat eruption, it helped to show the impact on a low development country, how the perceptions before the event ultimately mattered, and how longer term responses are more beneficial than short term responses. So when you have that knowledge, it helps to coordinate a response to questions like, to what extent are low development countries more at risk from a volcanic hazard than high development countries? Or discuss how perceptions of a possible hazard influence the impacts of said hazard. Your teachers might give out many info packs with details spanning pages on possibly even just one case study, but you can easily condense these into pure facts and knowledge you just have to remember. One way to do this is highlighting the relevant details, which includes figures like deaths, injuries, mortality rates, all the way to the percentage of A-star to C GCSE results and life expectancy. As well as this, accounts and qualitative data, based on opinion, can also be valuable, like the culture in an area to attitudes in songs, texts, and videos. You could leave it at that, but I would recommend writing all the relevant notes you highlighted on under the sheets, or even typing it out to store in a binder/schoolbook. This saves time when you just want to learn the content and not just navigate to the highlighted nuggets of information buried in the text. Now, integrating the case studies in an essay is key as well, as your knowledge may be refined, but you also have to be comfortable with the doing alongside the knowing parts. Case studies are meant to be primarily used for evidence to back your point. So for example, if you want to talk about how environmental factors influence health, you could talk about Uganda, which suffered over 3 million cases of malaria in 2015 due to its persistent hot and wet climate. Case studies are also a useful tool for hooking the examiner into reading your essay. You could do a standard introduction of introducing your point in a broad fashion and then cutting into the essay, but it's recommended that you spice it up with mentions to case studies to sound like you have a good knowledge. So for example, environmental factors do certainly have an influence on health in both high and low development areas, compared to environmental factors do certainly have an influence on health, as seen with the vast amounts of malaria cases in Uganda to the increasing amount of respiratory problems in England. And finally, not all case studies are perfect in representing your point, but this is a blessing in disguise. Having a limitation to the case study gives you an opportunity to expand on why the evidence, and therefore the point, is limited in helping you answer questions like, to what extent, or assess, which are assessment questions. For example, you could talk about how the case study is too small to be representative. So for example, Area X has very few thousand residents to represent a similarly larger area, or how it is too broad. For example, how London alone cannot represent the inequalities in health in England, since some boroughs are over the national life expectancy, while others are below it.